let's do that. So we'll start off with what I'm actually doing at this very moment because this is what we did to make $300,000 in 2023 without the entire platform being pretty manual. So basically, it's dripping out with the same data, different phone calls. It uses it like a dialer. So it dials out. It basically connects to my phone and will say, you are now dialing this person. So now basically you can call 60 people an hour. And we only just started doing that with our data, and it's working really well. Um, Now you said you do contracting, right? Like you do home improvement. What state are you in, Eric?
I'm in Georgia.
Okay, so is there like a specific set of cities or zip codes? What's like the primary area? And you see, we just went to people and homeowners, HO, and there's 50
Mm.
million homeowners to choose from. So, is there any particular zip codes or just anywhere in Texas?
So anyway, so Georgia. So pretty
Georgia, I'm
anywhere
sorry.
in Georgia. This is gonna be nationwide, but just as an example, you can use Georgia.
Got it. So right here we have 768,000 homeowners in the state of Georgia. And you'll notice that there's an asterisk. That's simply because once you buy the lead, you'll be able to see all that info. You'll see there's two sets of names. The first set is who is listed on the actual um, tax assessment. So these are the people who actually pay taxes on this address, so they own the property. Furthermore, it's traced directly to more of their information, right? In this instance, the county doesn't have these records. So I'm gonna flip these two switches here. Basically, it's gonna remove stuff that has empty info. So when I do that, I'm left with probably like 500,000 records. Let's see. 322,000. So there's 322,000 homeowners that have both an email and a cell phone. And we can see, like I was saying, the owner's name is here. These are the people who pay taxes on this property. You'll see some of the records have the assessed value. Last time the value of the home was assessed. Um, Breaks down some census info so you can understand. Mostly like if you're trying to find Spanish speaking neighborhoods or something. Obviously, not everyone speaks Spanish, but the neighborhood's 60% Latin, and good chances there's a lot of people who speak Spanish in there. This is what they paid on the house in taxes. You have the purchase year. Here's the income, right? So this I would not use in terms of is this 59,000, right? Because that obviously it's all statistics, so it's not exact. But if you were to look at Edna versus C, there's a good chance this person makes a lot more money than this person. So it should be used like that. So we'll go a little bit further. Obviously, some of these ages, they're not 10 years old, but if we go and filter, like 18 and older, you'll see only a few go away. It's not that many. So there's 3,222. And when we put in the extra age filter, you lose like 2,000. So now we have everyone above the age of 18 that's in Georgia that has a cell phone and an email. Now let's just say what's like the average income you typically want? Are you looking for middle end, really high end income, lower end income? What would you say is your ideal client?
Middle to high. Mhm.
Okay. So honestly, in Georgia, we can put what 50,000 probably per household. What does
Yeah, that's
Athens?
accurate.
50,000, we'll say. Does it matter when they bought the house? You want homes that were purchased 30 years ago or homes that were purchased in the last 10 years?
Last 10 years.
Okay. So right here we have the purchase year. I'm gonna put it 10 years ago, so 20 up to 2013 because it's the beginning of this year. And I'm just gonna leave this open, right? Basically to infinity. So now I can hit my search and I can more directly target that list. And another thing I usually recommend to pay attention to in the future is the average age of who you talk best with. You talk best with 40-year-olds, 60-year-olds. Everyone has an easier spot with different demographics. So now we're left with 113,000 homeowners that are above the age of 19, purchased a home in the last 10 years, live in an area that makes more than 50,000 per year, and is in the state of Georgia. Let me ask one thing. Um, is there a particular breed of new people moving to Georgia that are better clients? For instance, are certain states up north that might have higher income when they leave and people are leaving to move? Are they, for instance, maybe better? Because what I'm trying to say is with this landline area, you have the ability to look for leads that moved. So this is some data sciencey thing we figured out, but let's say you're looking for people who moved from New York City, right? That means they were born and had a landline at one point at the home when they were born, had an area code. So we found some people having really good luck targeting, for instance, people in California, people in Arizona who originally lived in California because their angle was, well, you know a lot about the solar pitch if you're from California. So like right here, now we have 140 people that started in New York City and have moved to various parts of Georgia. So this is just a unique way that I saw some people use the system and caught my attention. So any questions up until this point?
So Brian, this is purely homeowner data, right?
For this section right here, it's homeowners, yes. So you have these bigger databases here. You can go from overall consumers, homeowners, and when you see consumers, this is basically like its own little subset, see? So all the businesses and all the consumers are skip traced to this info. So when you see like homeowners right here, the left side of the spreadsheets are the public record, whether it's the Secretary of State for the business records, the SBA for people who took SBA loans at some point. But you'll see that this is the records that pertain to the property we're talking about. And over here are the records that pertain to the marketing material to these people. And you'll see that we have it filtered so everyone has a cell phone. So
Got it.
same thing. I'll save this list real quick just because I have it filtered. So we'll save 100 and we'll call it GA movers from New York in the last 10 years. One thing that's cool is if you subscribe and you stay subscribed, you never lose your list that you saved. So we're implementing a feature in the next couple of weeks where any of these lists that you save, you can actually charge in the future for. Meaning this list saves right here for me, right? And I made it nice and organized, and you can organize it however you want. So this will save, give it a few seconds. And then maybe someone comes to me in 2 months and wants the same exact list, right? And instead of doing door frames, they're doing homeowners insurance, right? So if that's the case, you might run into somebody, you're all in the same network, and they might opt in to pay you for that particular list. So you could go access any of these lists that you save in the past, and then you can simply send it to yourself to the email that you have assigned to it. And we're going to add the ability for you to charge people for this email in the future. So that now goes over to my email address. I'm not going to open it right now because I'm going to have to edit the video more. But all the information, all the cell phone numbers, all the contact information will be unveiled, and you're able to get into it. Any questions on that? So obviously, like I said before, we do have businesses. All these businesses, particularly that are in here, took an SBA loan in the last few years. So this information is all skip traced and enriched as well. Right here, we have the business name that took the SBA loan. And all this is the information that was documented, affidavit of support. And the reason we are looking for that is this information was used originally for ERC or SETC because they took a PPP loan, and under penalty of perjury, they said they had 24 employees. A lot of people lied, but this is the best type of data you're going to get if you're looking for the exact employee count. Now, we have the ability to filter by NAICS code. You are able to enter more than one in. And what we're actually adding a feature in here. So you can basically, it's going to have ChatGPT built in because we usually go back and forth. We have some videos on that. Basically telling ChatGPT like, hey, I need 30 similar industry codes, right? It'll make them comma separated, and then you would just be able to copy and paste all of this in. It's search, and then you would find all the various industries that you were in the market for. So right here we have 15,000. The information was skip traced to the Secretary of State. So this is all SBA info. This is a second database that is Secretary of State info. We did that deliberately because we needed to get the first and last name of who owns the business. The SBA info does not show us that. It just shows us the name of the business, and it's not in here, but the amount of the loan and all of that. So we'll see that there's multiple names, and that's because there's multiple people listed as being in charge of the business. So first thing you'll notice is there is a first and last name, but that first name is not here. That's because this is a tier 2 match, meaning the last name, as you see here, and the address match. You have the ability to filter out the tier 2s in the future. But going on, you'll see again, this is a tier 2. Let me get through this a bit. The businesses are a little bit more tier 2-y because typically it may be a cell phone that's linked to a family member, but it actually does go to the owner. And then it's just a matter about your people on the phone being able to get around that. So all of this info is here. These are the home addresses that they are at. And also, I just thought of something in real time. These are all the tier 2s are people under the age of 30. Let's just filter in people over 30. And it will filter in people under 75. And I think that's yeah, see, it filtered out all those people. Now let's take a look at this. Yeah, see, Monica, Tyler. So yeah, once you filter out the Miguel, yeah, once you filter out the younger ages, that actually is a pretty easy way to solve that problem we just saw. So why do people use businesses? They might sell insurance, U65. They do business lending. They may do commercial lending, business insurance, various things. The business owners typically people like because, well, if they have less than 5 employees, probably the owners are 1099. And that allows an insurance agent to squeeze in and sell some healthcare to people who are self-employed. So
Brian, do you have an
yes.
API connection? Like, would I be able to create a list and API this into my conversational voice AI for just dialing through and calling these people?
So where is that what's it? I mean, we can get it set up. I mean, an API takes us a few hours to do in most instances. Yeah, we can get that done. It would take probably a week or two, but what is the system called?
It's our ClearTalk.
Oh, I heard that. I know what that. I've seen that before. So
Down, it's AI. It's voice AI. So if you go to cleartalk.ai.
So do you already have the points
This is
on your
Don, by the way.
You know, I see
Yeah.
that, yeah. So you have the points on your side or no? Like, for instance, do you have the table set up? Because all what we would need on your side is you would need to have a similar table set up to be able to feed this information into your dialer. Um, in terms of
Uh,
because you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
an
we
API
can.
is going to connect to your table basically to feed the data, and then your dialer is what's tagged into your table. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we
Unless,
can. You have an API into high level, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so we could just dump into high level, and the second it's dumped into there, it all ports into our calling system
Oh, well,
automatically.
then that works on. Then yeah, that would be the quick solution. Um,
Okay.
and then speaking that you just mentioned the dialer, here are different aged opt-in leads. These are people that have obviously submitted a form. Although, as I tell everybody, if you're concerned about any TCPA stuff, check with your local attorney because I can tell you the information's accurate. But if you're going to ask me, are you going to get sued if you use it? That changes every day. Like, I mean, if you guys see the December 13th thing, it's an interesting game we're in. So these are all people who obviously have opted in. It's 400,000. Um, Same thing with solar, but there's much fewer solar. This is more so as an example. The reason why these are here is these are white labelers. These are people who contributed their data and we white label it from them and resell it on our own. So we have the whole ability to white label any of these databases, 2,500 a month, and then you can resell. You get it's 2 million credits a month you get, and then you can package and resell how you want. This works out to 10 different leads for 1 penny, 1/10 of a penny each. So it's designed so you can resell. The whole system too is I can't log in on this side, but there's a whole white label feature and you can control the pricing and everything in between like that. And
So
probably good.
for that 499, we could just have. Is there a way to auto set up so 3,000 leads daily just port into our CRM, and then we can have it automatically call them?
You're the second person who's asked me that today. I would just give you all the leads at once. And in that case for now, because we have to get that turned on, that feature, because that's actually a two people asked me that in the last 3 hours. So we will in the future, but for now, so that you don't have to go in every day, you can just download everything at once. We'll just give you all the credits on day one.
Okay. Yeah, then we can just set the cadence on our side.
Yeah, and if you guys know anyone that has really good age leads, I mean, we're giving away free white labels because we rank on all this stuff. And it's very hard to find good solar lead people who actually generate good leads and sell good leads. These typically will be, we say they're all over a year old. You might find some that are 90 days old. You might find some that 30 days old. You have to check the token if you want. But just to make our lives easier, we tell you everything in these two databases are 1 year old. The phone numbers, however, are up to date. So before anything goes in here, we skip trace it to our other databases. Because quite honestly, if you needed health insurance 5 years ago and were 55 5 years ago, you can only be two things. You can be dead or you can be 60. And if your phone number changed, we can take care of that. So all of this stuff is used mostly for dialers, people who were going to pick the phone up and actually, call for a few hours a day. versus it's not preset appointments. So it's meant, this is the raw materials, dirt cheap. So that way you can go create some gems out of it.
That's awesome.
And kind of what we want to do pretty much in the future is let people sell the appointments back through the system. So basically the same white labelers, right? The people who just pay $2.99, they have the ability to resell their appointments back to the people that pay for a white label that can resell those appointments. So the whole system has been engineered to just be this crazy network of exchanges where you can subscribe to this guy's database so that you can resell his stuff basically and make profit off of it. So if you guys know anybody that have excellent data or leads, like I said, not data, I'm sorry, leads particularly, we can give them a free white label and get them all hooked up with that. But for everyone in here today, just leave your email address. I'm going to give everybody 500 leads each. Even if you didn't put your card in, you'll still get them. And is there any questions that I can answer right now?
Yeah, I got one for you. I stepped on a few minutes late. When I saw you getting the leads together, how do you save them, and then how is it saved? It is to an Excel document or to a CRM or both, or what?
So you can save them, right? And then you can re-access every list you ever purchased because it's directly tied to an email, and you have the ability in the future to sell these lists through the system and take payments however you want. As long as you're subscribed, you can access all your old lists. If you keep them organized, you'll be able to identify, like this one's obviously not organized, but I see there's a B2C. If someone wants to come pay me $10, I'll be able to charge them and send it to their email in the next 30 days. Right now, go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So the first CRM we're going to get fully done is GoHighLevel. Right now, you have to import the whole list over versus like select leads. But what CRM do you use?
I don't have one, and that's why I was asking. I'm sorry, I don't have one of the popular ones yet.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, GoHighLevel is the easiest thing to use. Just think if you can find it for $97 if you're not doing the white label or the agency.
Okay, so I would need GoHighLevel, or do you integrate to other ones as well?
We can, I mean, right now we can integrate to what you need. The system's being built more and more every day. So if there's a CRM that you need, if you want to do HubSpot or whatever, we can work it in for you and get that done.
Okay, but I want to clarify though, you do need a CRM to receive the leads, right?
You do not need a CRM to receive the leads. It goes to your email first. So your email that you associate it with,
Got
you
it.
just hit the email button, and then it would deliver it to your email address or to the email address you have here. So this
Excellent.
is buying
I
leads.
think you may have been on the call early when I was talking to, I think it was D'Angelo.
Yes.
And I was asking, yeah, it was me. So for those of us that you just answered the question about getting the leads, that's going to be delivered via email as well?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's solid. No, thank you.
And
You're
what
welcome.
type of file will come through when the leads come through via email?
So it goes through as a zip file. If you don't have Excel, that's fine. You can hit unzip within the file, like when you open it up in the email, and it'll open up in Google Drive. So you would either need to open the file with Google Drive or some type of CSV software. It's a CSV that
Makes sense. Thank you.
you're welcome.
And then the other question is, if you're going to send us the batch leads like that, is that based on our search criteria?
Exactly. Yeah. So all of this you get to customize. So what do you sell?
Coaching, so B2C, and also I want to talk to homeowners.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, like, what's like the typical age range of people that end up purchasing from you?
I mean, actually, this is a new launch for me, but some of the previous stuff that gained interest, we're looking at 21 to 55.
Okay. Now, what, any type of specific income, any state, anything specific?
I'm open to states as far as income. We probably want to go 50K and above.
Okay, so I'll just type in 50K here. So What this means is this guy doesn't necessarily make $50,000, but this person who makes 50,000 definitely makes less than this neighborhood where this guy makes 129. So statistically, more likely, okay, this is a more affluent area. This is somebody that, for instance, their land is $91,000 an acre versus, yeah. So are you looking for maybe someone who just purchased a house, or does that really not matter?
No, not really.
Okay. So yeah, and obviously, are you trying to reach people through email, phone?
Both.
All right, so we'll flip these two switches. And what
Okay.
that's going to do is make sure every single lead has both an email and a cell phone.
Excellent.
So you can really drill this down how you want. And that's how you end up making your list exactly what you want. So when you finally get the criteria in here that you're looking for, you just hit buy, save list. You would save the amount. So we'll say 50. Call it B2C over 50,000. And like I said, I date my stuff because you can, as long as you're subscribed with us, you can reaccess everything you've ever purchased forever and can resell those lists however you want. So all your purchase lists will end up right here. And then you would just hit this little email button and it will send the zip file to the email address for you to either put into Excel or into Google Drive or however you're able to open it.
Now that limit of 50, do you not get that big number that you looked at? You only get 50.
So you get to pick the list. So here are the leads you get daily. So you
Okay.
get 1,500. It's set for 1,500 daily, but I think we discussed something different for you.
Yeah,
But
but what I'm getting at is, so for those it's like the same guy just asked a minute ago, if you don't want to go in every day and look at them, you get the bulk up front. Would you get all of those up front, whatever that number might be for the month or whatever, or how would that work?
yeah. So if you wanted to type in 60,000, I mean, obviously I don't have 60,000 leads here, so it's not gonna. I ran out of credits. So, but yeah, you can save as many as you want at once. Like you'll see here, I save 15,000 here,
Okay.
32,000. So yeah, I mean, I'm just using 100 as an example
Okay.
because obviously when the file's bigger, it sometimes doesn't deliver. Meaning, depending on the email carrier you're using, sometimes it'll come in as like an empty file because it was too big to begin with. So
Oh.
if that's the case, maybe you have to shrink it down to like 5,000 rows. But it's on the list for the developers since last night for them to get fixed this week. So it might be done by the end of today. They actually just sent me a bunch of Loom videos to review, so it might already be done.
Okay.
With that particularly.
Now
But
let
yeah,
me. Oh, sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say you don't get duplicates. It's set up basically where if you and John do the same exact search, basically if John gets leads first, it's gonna stick the leads that are filtered in the same list by the other guy to the back of the list. So basically every single lead has to be downloaded once for the duplicates to start being done.
Okay. Got it. Now, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but I have a small business. What if I get X number of leads and that's all I need and I don't subscribe anymore? Do I still have, I guess, the original email and that's it?
So let me understand that again. You pay 1 month, you get your lists, you have them saved, you cancel. So what was the question after that part?
Yeah, what happens, and I'm not saying that I am, I'm just saying I'm a small business guy, solopreneur. Once you cancel, do you still have access to what you originally got and that's it?
For now, yes, I'll say yes because I don't think we have it built in that you don't have access. But
Oh, okay.
ideally, long term, I mean, ideally, probably not because it's going to be a white label, so people can turn that option. This whole system's a white label, so meaning that other people can license this, put their own domain, put their own brand, and basically sell the data and leads at their own price.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, yes, we'll just let you keep getting access. But in the future, maybe not. But for now, yes. And by the future, I'm talking 6 months from now, not like today.
Then the white label is the 1,500 a month as opposed to the 299, right?
It's actually 2,500 a month. You get 2 million credits. I have to change this. So you get 2 million credits works out to about 1/10 of 1 penny, or 10 leads for 1 penny. Right
Yeah,
here,
but
our lowest price is half a penny. So you have to sell it for more than us. You don't, that's the only condition with this. You have to make sure your leads cost over our half a penny. So if you want to sell them for 6/10 of a penny, you can do that.
Okay.
We have to have the lowest prices though.
Now, if you choose not the white label, you just pay the non-white label price, right?
Yeah, you can do you get the 1,500 a day or the 3,000 a day, and you also have built in, um, you get one extra email. So right now, if someone ends up wanting to pay you, let's say $100 for the month, $200 for the month, just to get 10,000 leads, you have the ability to plug them into this spot to send that list to them, and probably
Ah,
within,
so
yeah,
with the non-white label, you can basically white label one person, one company.
exactly. They
Oh,
can't
okay.
log in. They can't log in. You have to build the list for them because the idea is once you get 10 people, like we have this one girl who's selling every $300 package. She's basically selling for 600, and she's logging in, getting their stuff 1,500 a day. And obviously, once you have 10, 15 people, it's going to get out of hand to do all that manually. And that's when you might want to white label, when all your users can log in on your own. And this is just an example of how the white label is set up. So we just set up leads-insurance.com, right?
Hmm.
And we don't have the other databases on. We don't have B2C on. We don't have solar leads on. We have B2B homeowners and insurance leads. So it's all set up in different ways where you have the ability to really customize how you want to do it.
Okay, and I was on another call, and I won't be a hog. This will be my last one. I heard you. I was finishing up. I heard you talking about compliance. You said it depends on your state and talk to an attorney.
That's just what I say because I sell a package for $299, and it's not worth the liability of telling people, yeah, we're honestly, because people, it really depends on what you're doing, and the laws keep changing. Like every single month, the FCC is changing things. So that's why, just to push liability off of us, we provide you the software, the data, and then any way you choose to use the data, you would have to do your own research and do whatever you're doing at your own risk, basically. Because
And how
originally, I
long?
used to say the tokens were opted in, right? Like I used to be able to tell people, yeah, you can text tokens, call tokens all day long. The FCC rule just changed that. So you know what I mean? It's the Wild West right now in terms of where they're going to start cracking down now that opt-in and leads don't even exist anymore as a whole, unless you generate it yourself with your business name.
Now, all of your leads are opt-ins, though. You're saying?
No, they're not
Oh,
opt-ins, and that's what I'm
okay,
trying to
got it,
say.
got
Being
it, got it,
the rules change, that's what we're trying to say is we're not going to represent it as opt-in just because we don't even know where the rules are falling right now.
got it.
But
Okay,
what I tell people is if you're not a massive call center, if you're not doing, I'm going to have 500 guys or 50 guys in a room in Fort Lauderdale, I mean, no one's going to really go after the small people right now. It was more so to get rid of the loophole of when you get sued for TCPA. The loophole used to be, well, Your Honor, I ran the DNC list. My client did their. Hold on one sec, Milo. Hold on one sec, Milo.
okay.
Get over here. Don't answer the cat. Get over here. Sorry about that, guys.
No problem.
Brian, I got a question.
Yes.
Okay, so we have being an AI call center, we have agencies that they do B2B to sell their services. So we create the ability for our agency holders to basically call through with AI. Our agency holders have they're going to be calling very similar companies that we're calling. So if we're calling B2B, and I want to give access to our agency's B2B information that we're going to call upon, but they can also call upon for their services through the AI. I would be able to create a white label and purchase that data for us to call. And then I could resell that to our agencies for them to call through for their own services.
So if I'm understanding correctly, if you sell the data to them, do you have liability with them calling it? Like, was that your question? What's the direct question for that?
So it's more of a function of your services. So I can create a white label and acquire all that data. And then I can resell it through the white label to our agencies.
Yes.
Is
So
that how
there's
that
two
works?
levels. Yeah. So there's two levels. There's the baby white label where you can build lists and send them to other accounts. They just can't log in and build their own lists, but you have an ability to charge people for that. The big white label, the full-on one for 2,500, lets you actually let your own users log in, lets them build the list they want, use the leads they want. We're integrating over the next 2 or 3 weeks direct mail and email marketing. So now you can resell those services to your subscribers. Obviously, ChatGPT is built into that to do the writing for you. But yeah, I mean, right now the system's built out the way it is, and we're going to be adding on these types of functions. And the other thing I want to throw in is we're adding hail tracking and storm tracking deliberately for like roofing companies and home improvement companies, because if you put together the email marketing, direct mail, and going after places that just had massive hailstorms, you have a really straightforward solution to resell to people in addition to any of the voice stuff.
That's awesome. How much? So if I started on the baby reseller, that's not the full-on white packet, a white label package. Because you said there's 2 levels. How much is that lower level?
It's $299. It's 10 times less.
Okay.
The idea is you get 10 clients on that, then you obviously have profit to go into a white label if you want.
Yeah.
So for the same price as 1,500 leads a day, how many leads a day can you generate for other clients with the white label? Just as an example, right?
So you would get 2 million per month for 2,500. You can then bundle the leads as a monthly allotment or a daily allotment. We obviously have 1,500 per day because we want to be really inexpensive because we're the source. But you have the ability to customize it how you want. I mean, there's some people charging 10 cents. I mean, what we did. Go ahead.
I guess my question would be, you said there's a baby white label for $299. Is that just pretty much the basic plan for 1,500 leads a day?
Is the basic plan, and you can add one extra email to send leads to. In the next month or so, maybe less than a month, there's going to be a terminal where you can actually charge people with that $299. But the difference is you have to build a list to send to the person. They can't log in and build their own lists.
Okay, and with the email marketing, what is that going to entail in the near future?
So that's going to basically let a white labeler now not have to sell lists. For instance, they can sell email marketing services and the lists are attached to it. You know what I mean? Because if you go to someone and say, hey, you want to buy email lists, they might get really turned off. But if you go to someone and say, hey, I do email marketing, I have an email marketing software, and the lists are attached to it, now there's different points of attack to get people to start using the platform and let you market it and brand it how you want to, basically. Same
So
thing with
you guys are creating an email software?
I mean, we're not really creating anything. We're just integrating Mailgun, tacking on ChatGPT and prompts. So then you can use a Mailgun integrated with our front end and ChatGPT to write the emails. And then there's a direct mail company, a print company we're integrating with, because right now they charge 70 cents. And what I found is the direct mail people are typically like the really high end people, the real estate agents or trying to buy properties or something. And I got this idea from a client we had where they were charging $2.50 per piece of mail, and they had a very basic software, and it cost them 70 cents. And it was just a little basic software, and these guys were able to sell direct mail services with the lists. So it basically blended it together to make it seem like a more attractive offer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, basically the boring part of what we did was the hard part. Cloud engineering, cloud architecture. Very, very stuff that you have to do and suffer through to figure it out, basically. And now we're at the point where we're adding in all these other features. So now, like I was mentioning before, with roofers. Well, there's common sense. You track hail, you track tornadoes, and that's typically where you should do your roofing jobs. We're integrating NOAA, the government weather system, so now you're able to track maps of hail on top of the homeowner data, because there are quite a few companies that do that, but the homeowner data isn't really the best. Quite often, people came to us to enrich that data to get the proper contact info. So they were using the hail software, getting the addresses, giving us the addresses for us to enrich. So we know we have really good data. So we're over the next 2 months going to be adding in that hail tracking feature. So now you can sell that to roofers or marketing agencies for roofers, maybe people who fix solar panels that got that got hail damage. It's set up to really have the salesperson think really, really focused and targeted to build a market out of.
At any point, will you incorporate agent leads in the home improvement industry in general, or
So,
just solar?
well, the system is set up as a white label. So the insurance leads and the solar leads you see there aren't ours. They're another client of ours who ended up doing a free white label for the test case. And now we get to resell their leads. And every time we sell it, they get paid a fraction. So for instance, the next database we're putting online is 3 million timeshare owners, and age timeshare exit leads and whatnot. So the ideal scenario with what you're saying is if you can find a really good vendor that's consistently good, we'll give them a free white label. Not a free like $2,500 white label, the tier 1, which is a $10,000 a month, where, for instance, Don or whoever at a $2,500 white label, they are only allowed to buy data from the tier 1 white labels. You know what I mean? So if you have really good data, really good age leads, you become a vendor and you get a nice little square box where you see the business leads, consumer leads, and basically now you're getting exposed. I mean, right now we have like 1,000 people a week that log in between free accounts and paid accounts. So we're looking for people with really good leads that are consistently good that can become vendors.
Awesome.
So yeah, I know for being it's Don, Eric, and Alonzo. So I know I told Don and Alonzo this, so I can give you all the leads up front. So you don't have to. It was actually funny that Don, I was saying how someone else mentioned about the automatic downloading the leads. That was this gentleman here, Alonzo, who asked the same thing earlier today. So Alonzo, this gentleman here, Don, asked the same question you did about can I automate the downloading of leads?
Yeah,
So
I heard it when I was smiling over here.
that's some shit I'm gonna. It's already been added to the list to do. But yeah, for all you guys here, I'll just give you all the leads all in one shot, so you don't have to log in every day. And yeah, any other questions?
Let me ask this one real quick. How long have you guys been around?
3 years. In
Okay.
terms of the system being fully complete to the extent that it is now. But I mean, we've been basically last year was our first year of figuring out what we were doing, of how to make a business. I mean, we did $300,000 giving GoHighLevel away for free and just giving larger lists to people. But we were charging 1,000 or more a month, because if you were coming to me for 100,000 rows of data or 5,000, it takes the same amount of time for me to put in the work and the different configurations. So we turned away like 95% of our clients or prospects. And that's kind of why we put the system together, is to, I mentioned all the way in the beginning, why is Exactdata, why is Lucia, why is Apollo, why are they collectively worth $6 billion? It's the ability to have a self-automating way of charging people and delivering what you charge them for. And that's how you get the 299 clients in without having to kill yourself, meeting with someone for $299 a month, 2 hours a week or something, and basically losing money on that client at the end of the day.
Got it. That's solid. Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, you guys know where to find me. If you guys have any questions I know Alonzo, did you get in the account? Did you get I was going to give you leads. Were you able to see them?
You know, I got the note, but they said I haven't set it up, so I'm going to set it up in just a few minutes.
Okay. And then,
Let me drop my email right here for you.
all right, sounds good.
Is your name Brian? Thank you, Brian.
My name's Brian, yes. No, no problem, Alonzo.
And I'm going to reach out to, this is good info. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. And I'm going to upload this video to YouTube. I put a lot of, I basically, it's a lot of education, right? It's a lot of understanding. Because too many people in this business make it simple. Like, yeah, here's a phone number. You pick up your phone, you call the person. There's a lot more to it than that. All right. If there are any last questions from you, Don, or Eric?
No, I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and hop off. Thanks so much for the wisdom. I look forward to doing good business.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you guys have any questions, let me know. You have my phone number, and this is adjourned.
All right.